Hello, truth seekers! At the top of an arid hill, two armies faced each other in tense silence. The Israelites trembled before the Philistine giant advancing with heavy steps. Goliath was more than a warrior. He was a living wall of muscle and metal. His challenge echoed like thunder. But who was this colossus? Could he have been something more than human? The Philistines were known for their military strength and advanced technology for the time. They controlled trade routes and dominated the Israelites with iron weapons and strategic prowess. However, their cultural and religious practices were strange to the Hebrews. Goliath emerged as the personification of these differences, a symbol of power that seemed almost supernatural, leaving many questions unanswered. But there was something peculiar about Goliath. His colossal height and impressive armor raised intriguing questions about his origin. Some scholars suggest he may be a descendant of the Nephilim, mysterious beings mentioned in Genesis. These beings, offspring of fallen angels and humans, were feared in ancient times for their immense size and strength, sparking debates that continue to this day. Other ancient cultures also had legends of giants. In Greece, the Titans challenged the gods, while in Mesopotamia, the Anunnaki were revered as celestial beings. These stories echo across various mythologies, creating a global pattern of fascination with giants. Could Goliath be part of this ancient tradition, linking him to a lineage far older than the Philistines themselves? In this video, we'll explore biblical and historical evidence suggesting that Goliath may have been a Nephilim. We'll analyze ancient texts, theological interpretations, and connections to pagan mythologies. Get ready for a fascinating journey that challenges what you thought you knew about this legendary figure and his place in history. If you enjoy exploring fascinating mysteries of the Bible and uncovering hidden connections, subscribe to the channel now. Join us on this incredible journey and discover secrets that go beyond the sacred pages. Your curiosity will be rewarded as we dive deeper into the unknown. But before we dive into the evidence, what exactly are the Nephilim? Why were they so feared in ancient times? These questions lead us to a world of mystery and surprising revelations. Stay with me to find out how these beings shaped ancient beliefs and why their legacy endures. In the next section, we'll explore the meaning of the Nephilim and how they might be connected to the story of Goliath. You won't want to miss this deep investigation into one of the Bible's most intriguing mysteries. Keep watching to uncover the truth. The Nephilim are mentioned in Genesis as the offspring of gods who mingled with humans. This union produced a race of giants that ruled the earth before the flood. But who were these beings? Were they fallen angels or simply powerful men? Their existence raises profound questions about the boundaries between the divine and the human. Some scholars interpret the Nephilim as descendants of fallen angels who defied God by uniting with human women. Others see this story as a metaphor for tyrannical leaders who oppress their people. Both views carry profound meanings, shaping how ancient cultures understood power, morality, and the supernatural. In Genesis 6:4, the Nephilim are described as heroes of renown, men of great stature and strength. In Numbers 13:33, Israelite spies report seeing Nephilim in the land of Canaan, claiming to look like grasshoppers compared to them. These accounts fuel the mystery, suggesting that giants were not just mythical figures, but real entities that once walked the earth. Ancient mythologies also speak of giants. In Greece, the Titans challenged Zeus, while in Mesopotamia, the Anunnaki were seen as divine beings. These global stories suggest that the Nephilim may be more than just isolated biblical figures, pointing to a shared memory of a race that once dominated the ancient world. Why were the Nephilim feared? Their presence symbolized chaos and moral corruption. They represented an imbalance in the divine order, where the supernatural invaded the human world. Their existence led to God's decision to send the flood, wiping out a world that had strayed too far from its intended path. But what if the Nephilim weren't completely eradicated by the flood? Ancient texts suggest some of these creatures survived in the lands of Canaan and other regions. Is it possible their lineage reached the days of Goliath, connecting him to a forgotten age of giants and divine intervention? This theory opens doors to new biblical interpretations. If the Nephilim really survived, this could explain descriptions of giants in later battles. The story of Goliath may be one of these fascinating connections between the past and the present, bridging ancient myths with historical events in ways we are only beginning to understand. In the next section, we'll analyze the biblical evidence linking Goliath to the Nephilim. Was he a descendant of this mysterious lineage? Keep watching to uncover this intriguing possibility and how it reshapes our understanding of one of the Bible's most iconic stories. Goliath was an impressive giant, measuring 6 cubits and a span, about 3 meters tall. His armor weighed nearly 100 kilograms, and his spear had an iron tip weighing 7 kilograms. These biblical descriptions are more than numbers. They suggest something supernatural, hinting at a connection to a lineage far greater than human. Goliath's characteristics present intriguing parallels with the Nephilim. He wasn't just tall, but possessed extraordinary strength and equipment that seemed challenging for the time. Do these traits indicate a connection to the lineage of the Nephilim? Or was he simply an extraordinary human warrior whose legend grew over time? In 2 Samuel 21:16-22, other Philistine giants are mentioned, descendants of the Rephaim, a race of pre-flood giants. Did Goliath belong to this lineage? Biblical texts seem to suggest so, connecting him to an ancient and mysterious heritage that predates even the Philistines themselves. The Philistines were known for their unique religious and cultural practices. Some scholars believe they may have absorbed elements from pre-flood peoples or even descendants of the Nephilim. This could explain the presence of giants among their warriors, suggesting a link between their culture and ancient traditions. But not everyone agrees. Critics argue that giants in the Bible may simply be exceptionally tall humans or symbolic figures. To them, Goliath was just an extraordinary warrior with no connection to supernatural beings. This debate highlights the complexity of interpreting ancient texts and the challenges of separating myth from history. What if the truth lies somewhere in between? Perhaps Goliath was human, but carried genetic remnants of an ancient lineage. This theory bridges science and faith, opening new possibilities for interpreting his origin. What do you think? Leave your opinion in the comments and join the conversation. This discussion leads us to a crucial point. The story of Goliath isn't just about a giant, but about how we interpret biblical mysteries. It challenges our beliefs and encourages us to explore new perspectives. After all, what do we truly know about the past, and how much remains hidden in the shadows of history? In the next section, we'll examine the cultural impact of Goliath's story and how it influenced art, literature, and modern thought. Prepare to understand why this narrative remains relevant today and how it continues to shape our understanding of courage, faith, and the human spirit. Keep watching. Keep. The story of Goliath transcends the pages of the Bible. It symbolizes the struggle between the weak and the strong, the human and the supernatural. This narrative has inspired artists, writers, and thinkers throughout the centuries, becoming a universal archetype that resonates across cultures and generations. In Renaissance art, Caravaggio depicted David holding Goliath's severed head. These works not only celebrate the young shepherd's victory, but also explore themes of divine justice and humility in the face of power. Through art, Goliath's story continues to provoke reflection and inspire creativity. Modern literature has also been influenced by this story. Giants like Goliath appear in works of fiction, representing seemingly impossible challenges. They are metaphors for the obstacles we face in everyday life, reminding us that even the greatest challenges can be overcome with courage and faith. In cinema, films like The Lord of the Rings and Jack the Giant Slayer echo the story of Goliath. These productions show that the fascination with giants remains alive, connecting the ancient to the contemporary. Through modern storytelling, Goliath's legacy endures, inspiring new generations to confront their own giants. But why do these stories remain relevant? They remind us that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable adversities, faith, creativity, and courage can change the course of history. Goliath represents fear, and David represents hope, offering timeless lessons about overcoming challenges. What if the story of Goliath were more than just a historical or religious account? What if it were a timeless message about overcoming challenges? This interpretation broadens its meaning, making it applicable to any era or culture and encouraging us to reflect on our own struggles and triumphs. This reflection leads us to consider the role of biblical stories in the modern world. They are not just sacred texts, but sources of wisdom and inspiration that help us understand the world and ourselves. Through stories like Goliath's, we gain insight into the human condition and the eternal battle between fear and faith. In the next section, we'll conclude our journey with a recap of the evidence discussed and a final reflection on the mystery of Goliath. Prepare to end this investigation with a powerful message that will leave you inspired and eager to explore further. Keep watching. Recapping our journey, we explored the possibility of Goliath being a descendant of the Nephilim. Biblical and historical evidence suggests his origin may be linked to an ancient and mysterious lineage. But is that enough to prove this theory, or does the mystery remain unsolved? Biblical texts mention giants at different times, connecting them to the Rephaim and other pre-flood peoples. These references create an intriguing pattern, but also leave room for alternative interpretations. The truth remains shrouded in mystery, inviting us to continue exploring these ancient stories. The story of Goliath teaches us that the supernatural and the human often intertwine in the pages of the Bible. It challenges our perceptions and invites us to question what we truly know about the past. What if there are more hidden connections waiting to be discovered, linking biblical narratives to broader mythologies? This investigation not only broadens our understanding of the Bible, but also inspires us to seek deeper meanings in our own lives. After all, who are we in the face of mysteries as grand as the Nephilim or Goliath? Their stories remind us of the vastness of history and the limits of human knowledge. The legacy of Goliath goes beyond his defeat by David. He symbolizes the challenges we face and the courage needed to overcome them. His story remains alive because it reflects universal struggles and timeless truths, offering lessons that resonate across generations. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your opinion is valuable to us, and together we can continue exploring the mysteries of the Bible and history. Let's keep uncovering hidden connections. Thank you for accompanying us this far. This video was an opportunity to delve into a fascinating and challenging topic. We hope it enriched your perspective and sparked your curiosity for new discoveries. The journey doesn't end here. There's always more to explore. Before we conclude, here's one last question. What do you think? Was Goliath a Nephilim or just an extraordinary human? Share your reflections in the comments and continue exploring the hidden connections of the Bible with us. Until next time, stay curious.